Love my wife. I just love saying the word wife.
To have a wedding, being the only Roy daughter, it was always going to be a big affair. It's going to be lavish and opulent. When you're a Roy, you just can't help it.
We're in East Castle. It's fun to have all the cast in the UK eating our food and making lots of jokes at our expense.
This castle was built about 200 years ago to look like a castle that was built 1,000 years ago.
It just felt real. It felt like, okay, that's the sort of place these kind of people would get married.
Then you just have to look around and you see, the tapestries on the walls, the miles of leather-bound books, the artwork, the furniture. It's kind of amazing.
What do you think?
I mean, it's massive.
The castle has a kind of magnificence and also a sense of fallen empire.
I don't think it was what Tom expected, but it's perfect for a big wedding like this.
It sets a really good backdrop for the drama that unfolds. Sleep well, Dad.
Might be your last good one for a decade or so.
You don't know how vulnerable a human being can be.
Fuck off. Fuck, who are you?
Good night.
These episodes, it really is like being in the kill box. Everything is just pushing in on all sides.
They've all come together to reap their equal vengeances, as it were.
I guess, technically, I should take a swing at you.
Technically, I should call you libelous scum.
Are you gonna calm the shit talk down, or are we gonna have to ramp things up?
Let's get all these characters and jam them into this space and watch them bump into each other. It's massively entertaining.
Well done on Tom.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Tell me again why you're marrying him.
Oh, come on.
Joking. I like him.
Shiv and her mom have a bit of a frictious, sort of contentious relationship.
The children have been told I'm the devil, and now they're sort of grown-up businessmen. So I'm kind of meeting my children for the first time in one way. There's a defense mechanism, which is to be bitchy and quite funny. I'm trying to sparkle. When people ask me how long I give it, I say forever.
Okay.
It will be forever.
Well, thank you.
It'll feel like forever. She has a sharp tongue. There's quite a lot of pain and hurt that's underneath.
Look, Shiv, do you really want to do this?
All the people are here.
Yeah.
And besides, I want to. I do want to.
Because of her reluctancy, she chose to be the most feminine she's been. Her palette became super soft. So the dress became just the simplest thing that we could find.
There's no sort of bells and whistles with her. It's classic, it's stylish, it's elegant.
We wanted it to be rich without being too formal. This was going to be a more casual approach.
And it did take a village.
Almost like a period movie where everybody has to have at least a half an hour fitting. It's labor intensive.
So it was like a constant trial run every day.
When I stepped into the set, there were, God knows, 200 extras, all dressed up. I mean, gorgeous.
Hey. Hey. No, I'm good.
All right, one hit.
There we go. All times.
That's my favorite scene that we've done. And all being together, there was a kind of innocence to it.
Can I suggest a hug?
What is it? What?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Here it comes.
That little scene is sort of an encapsulation of 40 years of family history.
It's the only scene where the siblings are hanging out and there's no agenda. It's the one time you get to see where they come from.
These aren't cold-blooded people. There is love, certainly, between the siblings in this family.
I give you the bride and groom.
Here's a toast to me and to Tom.
We're sitting in the marquee, which we constructed here on the grounds, a big glass and aluminum structure.
The marquee was an ambitious project to make in such a short time. We tried to bring the outdoors inside the marquee. Something that is over 1,000 feet of artificial greenery above head.
We have a home economist who's been working incredibly diligently to do the wedding cake and dessert tables. It's a bit of a ballet.
Had to pull in florists, grounds work, greenery, caterers. It's magical. It really is. It's quite magical.
Your whole instinct is to make it as beautiful as possible. And in Succession, you've got to kind of do the opposite. It's not uglifying it, but it's just not fetishizing it. And so what feels genuinely authentic. I spend a lot of my time trying to be an invisible director on this. Follow the story, follow the characters. It takes a real kind of constant discipline to do that.
So, shall we go and play Happy Families?
In a way, it's what the show is about. It's about the kind of inescapability of this family. And this is finally Kendall's attempt to take up the mantle and finish the job that he started, and in a sense prove his strength to his father.
Read this. What is it? It's a proposal to buy Waystar for $140 a share. Here.
No.
Did he need to do the things we see him do in this show, or does he want to do them because he wants to take out his dad?
So what the fuck? Dad told us.
It was out of my hands. Sure.
You're a real piece of work, man.
Dude, I'll answer any questions you have.
Great. I have a question. What the fuck are you doing?
Wake up. You're all living in a fucking dream world. When we think we're most in control, I think that's when we're most ripe for a fall.
We had one night to shoot all that, and it was really fun to do, as stunts tend to be. We needed to basically fire the car like a cannonball in order to get a set pressure and then get a specific landing. As soon as the car hit the water, it immediately flipped upside down, which I thought was great. The hazards, if you like, was inherently that we're asking Jeremy, who plays Kendall, to submerge himself in water that's maybe 1 or 2 degrees above freezing, because he wanted it to be real and he wanted to be cold enough for it to work. We would literally pour buckets of ice cold water over his head, a level of commitment that I'm absolutely astonished by. It was quite extraordinary.
Son, you have not been yourself. This could be the defining moment of your life.
It's definitely a tragic heart that's beating underneath the show. They end up with a dark romanticism around them that can end up making people create their own tragic lives.
Or, it could be what it should be. Nothing at all. Where father and son are reconciled.
For me, that scene is 2 actors absolutely at the top of their game. Creates a kind of religious moment of just needing to get that out.
My boy.
We have all been sort of joined at the hip for months. It really does start to feel like a family.
One of the most interesting casts I've ever worked with. It's quite fun because you never know what's going to happen on the set.
It's been the most thoroughly enjoyable character to play. Guess who just didn't kill anyone, but maybe only lost a couple of thumbs?
I don't know.
This guy!
Against all my better judgment, I found myself empathizing, feeling for them, and even rooting for them. And I just want to continue to explore those characters because there's so much there yet to explore.
We've torn everything else down. Love is the last fridge magnet left.
But I do love you.
I love you too.
The pleasure of thinking about storylines for characters you already know is you can go a bit deeper. I think we'd like to see some of the people we've got to know, how they operate in different circumstances and in different combinations. I think we'd find that interesting and exciting.
There is nothing more important than family. So, to family.
1, 2, 3.